team in the game. Dalton, why don't you tell the other players a little bit about yourself as a person, and then maybe a little bit about your history with the X-Men franchise, and then a little bit about the character of Packrat.
All right. Well, I'm Dalton. I let's try to figure out what all exactly to say. I take care of a bunch of reptiles. Uh, Work over at the PetSmart. My history with X-Men, I've seen the recent movies, and I feel like I remember a cartoon, and I can remember lots of different things that happened in it, but I don't know. It's like old, kind of foggy memory.
Okay. So let me ask you this: what color were the costumes in it? Was it like were they like black and yellow, or were they like yellow and blue?
I'm not sure.
Okay, fair enough. It's also worth mentioning that you and another player in this game share a great love of what is it? Delta Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been running a game of that for how long now?
Oh, I guess it was a couple months.
Oh, really? I thought it was like a year the way you were telling me about it.
Well, I mean, we didn't necessarily meet all the time. Or if you mean the one on the forum has been going a little bit longer, but the actual, like when we were doing the streaming group, didn't last quite as long. I mean, there was more attempts to get people together, but you know how it can go.
Yeah, a couple months is pretty long for a Delta Green game.
Well, the forum is, kind of a different pace. Instead, just when people are typing it out, it can be, differently paced than longer.
Speaking more to like the lethality of like all Call of Cthulhu and then the new Delta Green game, both are really, really lethal and usually don't last for a couple months of a campaign.
Hmm.
Usually dead.
Well, we played different ones each time. It wasn't like one straight campaign. It was
Oh, okay, fair enough.
different scenarios. It wasn't just one straight up campaign. The ice.
I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yep.
Why you
Okay.
ask and leave before you get answer?
What?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, did I leave? Okay, I got you. Cool.
You lived through like the past 5 seconds briefly there. It was interesting.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so yeah. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your character now, Alden?
Packrat, aka Ben Lloyd, or I guess Ben Lloyd, aka Packrat. He came from a richer background originally, until he discovered his power, where he was kind of family at that point. He's got a talent for kind of showmanship, do an occasional little magic trick or two. He had an uncle that had powers that it ended up going pretty badly for him. I don't know, and then I could look through the exact aspects if you want.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and list those off to the other guys? Maybe describe a little bit about what they mean to the character. So, if another player wanted to, sort of bounce off that, or tap that in order to give you a Benny or compel you to do something, to know kind of what they're getting into.
All right. Well, my main my high concept is gatekeeper to the mirror world. My character's power is to kind of be able to reach through mirrors or reflective surfaces and then get, like, there's pretty much just a stash of a bunch of different objects in there. And so the main way that works is that Ben's got a mirror in the pocket, and just kind of reaches in there and pulls stuff out through the hand mirror. And then the trouble is aquaphobic. It's kind of like a liquid, watery area inside the portal, and Ben got stuck there for a while. And that left him with pretty potent aquaphobia. And then old money, like I said, comes from a richer background. Not necessarily more so than some of the other people here, but I would say more of the social background and the connections type of way with that, and then self-taught magician, like I said. Up on this for tricks.
Is it just like a hobby for him, or does he like want to make a career out of this if this whole superhero thing doesn't pan out?
I would say it's a hobby, but I wouldn't say the character hasn't considered it as a career.
Okay, all right. When he dreams at night, he's a magician. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotta have those dreams and aspirations, dude. Okay. Chris, as the only Chris here, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Sort of introduce yourself to Dalton, and maybe tell us a little bit about River and his aspects.
Hello, Dalton. Something about myself as a human being?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, I had a brisket quesadilla at Fuzzy's Tacos today. And it was good.
And you're very passionately in love with the theater and your girlfriend.
Yes, both of those are true. She had her birthday yesterday. So, shout out to her. But on to important stuff. My character is Brandon River Goldstein. His aspects are: my voice is my power. His trouble is that he's a diva. His other aspects are Guitar Hero and why is someone called Frost so hot? And his sound.
I need to have Emma Frost in these games more so we can actually use that.
And his SoundCloud account has been just off the charts after a giant mutant fought the Avengers to the soundtrack of his songs.
Absolutely, dude. That was kind of why I was a little bummed that you missed last week, because I was actually had this whole thing planned since your band was getting radio play. I was actually gonna start you guys off at like a concert or something.
Aw, man.
But it's all good. We can put that on the back burner and come back to that later. Anything else you want to tell us about River?
No.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right. Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt, or Matthew. Interesting thing, I collect way too many RPG systems / supplements, but I'll never ever get to use.
Dude, that's true of all GMs.
Dude, so that's it. Yep.
I play as... I don't remember my character's name after 2 weeks. I'm playing as Lisa Wilborn, also known as Exposition. My high concept is human computer, with my trouble being no one tells you about the physical aspects. She is the heart of a team, and talking helps her figure stuff out, with a third aspect to introduce at some point. She's basically the thinker, brains of the group.
And the heart of it.
And the heart.
That's true.
All right, let's see here. And normally this would be the part where I'd get Teacher Chris to tell us a little bit about his character, but since he's having computer issues, we'll just go ahead and start recapping. Plus, he was here last week, so you've already met him, and he's already met you. So, Dalton, how would you like a nice, shiny new fate point?
I would.
Okay, here's what you're going to do to earn that. You're going to update the two players, other players, on what happened last week. All the important. And if you like fail to mention any of the important plot points, you're totally. I'm going to take one of your fate points, man. I'm cruel.
All right.
Wait, hang on a second. Before you get into all that, while we're waiting for him to get back and you're gathering your thoughts, I just want to point out to everyone that if you look in the top right-hand corner of the screen, if you go over to the handouts thing, you know, and you click on it, you'll see a bunch of subfolders called actions and damage, stress, and stuff like that, and I've included a brief overview of the different rules and, you know, some links to the SRD online. So hopefully that'll help things go a lot quicker.
Shazam!
Also, I just found this out this last week while I was reading when I was reading the rule book again. If you pull up the rule book on page 44 and 45 of the PDF, they've also got a much more a very clear summary of it as well. So with that out of the way, I'm handing the mic over to you, Dalton. Take it away.
All right, so once had an assignment from Emma Frost to in front of a crowd. So we went to a coffee shop. We did that. Stopped him. We walked him home. We didn't really tell him. We just kind of took him home. But then we went to Stark Tower. There were a bunch of Humanity First people. We're going to do, you know, the next day. But the next day came and they got attacked by mutants slash, I guess, like a water guy. Giant guy made of water and then a guy made of earth. We didn't see the earth guy. We fought the water guy. I think I got the main things that happened. Oh, he said it's only doing my job when he like finished down the like a drain. He escaped.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it. The main thing was that the Humanity First, you know, the human, you know, rights group, they were holding a big rally in front of Stark Towers in order to protest the Stark Industries hiring a mutant for a very prominent position. And two mutants apparently attacked the rally and hurt and possibly killed a bunch of people. It's all over the media. And you guys suited up to go after him. Exposition and Dryad were on sand guy duty. Dalton and
Water duty.
Teacher Chris were on water guy duty. And Chris and Emma Frost were on crowd control, you know, helping the civilians get out of there safely. So,
Yes, did I impress her?
that's what we're about to find out. So, Matt, I'm going to assume that you guys successfully dealt with Sand Guy. Why don't you tell me a little bit how that went?
How would we deal with Sand Guy? It's me and Dryad. Give me a moment.
Hey, Chris. If you're talking, we can't hear you, bro. Can you hear us? Oh, dude. Is it, if you hear all right, that's fine. You can just type your stuff out. As long as you get at least 50 words per minute, we're good. Anyway, while he's figuring that out, Matt, how'd that go for you?
Sandman fight went pretty well. Dryad used a lot of plant-making powers, spring up barriers to confine his movement, while I used buckets of water to disrupt his sand shifting ability, so to make it more solid. Oh, hello.
Oh, thank God it works. Okay.
You're coming through pretty much clear.
Yeah, say some stuff for us, Chris, so we know you're working all right.
I'm still good.
Cool. Hey, we just got done recapping last week. Do you need us to go over it again, or you think you're... Chris? Oh, no. Dude, if you're talking, we can't hear you, or at least I can't. That was really weird, man. Hey, can anyone else hear him?
I am not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. So yeah, you guys, we'll say you guys drove off the Sandman eventually with your double team of that.
Hello? Test?
Yeah!
You're back.
I think you just cut out again, though. Say something.
Test? Test?
Yes. Okay. Okay, we're good. All right. Goodness. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, we just finished recapping. Do you need us to recap stuff
No,
for
I'm
you? Okay, you're good. Oh. All right. So, Chris, the student with a G. How did the crowd control efforts go?
Well, I imagine since I was dealing with Emma Frost, I stayed out of her way and just was directing people to the closest exits.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, though. Since you've got that what's it called, aspect, why is someone called Frost so hot? Think that you tried to like show off a little bit, and you know, maybe you oh, I don't know, like maybe you used your power voice that she wanted you to use to get everyone's attention. Maybe you went a little overboard on it and maybe hurt some people or knocked someone over or something. And the media, there's cameras everywhere covering all this stuff. They got a pretty good picture of a X-Man doing that, and so now it's going to cause trouble for you guys later. Do you want that, Benny, or do you want to not Benny. Fake Chipper, do you want to pay me one?
I'll pay you one. I would like that not
Fair
to
enough.
happen.
I understand, man. Okay, if you throw that down on the table there, we'll get going.
Before the game even starts, down one.
Sorry, could you repeat that? It was a little staticky.
I was just joking around.
Okay. Alrighty. So, we're going to start this session off a little unusually. We're going to start off with a flashback. Chris with the P. This is going to be, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. Back before, Colin joined the X-Men.
Sure.
Okay. Why don't you, this is still when he was living out on the mean streets, homeless with his mentor. Why don't you describe what young Colin looked like so we can sort of picture it in the camera of our mind's eye?
So he's like early to mid-teens.
Yeah, I think you said he was 18, so at this point he'll be like 14 going on 15.
Okay. He's probably pretty lean. He's probably because for Vince long, not exactly getting a good diet, not really eating well. So he's in decent shape now that he's had a more somewhat healthy diet, but he's still very lean. There's not a lot of extra fat on him at all. His clothes are probably pretty thin and wearing. They go from place to place, scavenge what they can, hitch the rails. Keep
Okay.
moving.
And this may seem kind of inconsequential, but can anyone who just looks at him tell that this kid, he's in a bad way, that he's not in
Well, I mean, it's not like he's doesn't have clothes or shoes or anything. He has them. I mean, they might be very thin and worn.
Right,
They probably
right.
are not in the best condition, but that's probably true for a lot of inner city kids.
so you're saying he kind of takes care of himself, so it isn't like
Yeah.
anyone. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool.
I mean, he's aware enough that if you're gonna be dirty all the time, then you're prone to disease and all of illness. So you gotta keep clean to some level.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about your mentor figure. Now, when you first met him, he never told you his real name, but he
Oh, we
gave
left
he
that.
said, yeah. Well, no, I mean in character in the game, he's never told you his real name. But when you first met him, he told. What did he tell you you could call him, Chris?
I think we probably just call him Sir. It's simple.
Wow.
It's respectful. It's
Yeah, but it kind of makes conversation a little difficult.
He probably said his name, well, like a first name, I'd guess. My name's John, kind of thing. So it probably wouldn't be elaborative though. It would just be something very simple.
So, Mr.
Just
John.
first name. Not even a Mister, probably just John.
Okay.
And then Colin would probably call him, Sir, just to be out of respect.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So on this particular day, it's a cold November day. You guys are in a small town in New. You guys just rolled into town a few days ago. You guys are actually doing pretty well at this point. The best job done in a while. You guys actually have a rinkety old car that John somehow got his hands on for living out of that for a while now. And even though the heating and the AC doesn't work, and you have to manually roll down the windows, and the passengers, or actually 3 of the 4 doors don't open from the inside. You have to roll down the windows and reach outside and pull the handle in order to open up the doors. Other than that, it's a pretty decent vehicle.
Sure.
Yeah, so you've been, living in that and, eating off of, eating stuff you've been getting from the dollar store or from the McDonald's off the dollar menu. And today, though, today you feel like today is going to be the last day in this town because 2 of you have decided that you guys are going to spring a mutant from jail before the lynch mob can get him tonight.
Okay, sure.
Because you are heroic,
Yeah.
And this is back when, things are pretty bad now, but, a few years ago it was real bad, and just being a mutant and being nearby a crime, that was automatically enough reason for them to arrest somebody, It wasn't like a innocent until proven guilty thing,
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, he walks up to the you're sitting in the car right now, probably, kind of rubbing your hands together to keep warm, and he walks up and I'm imagining he's wearing like worn blue jeans, maybe some like worn boots and denim coat, and he's got like a red bandana, around his neck, and like all gray hair. And he says, "All right," he like reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pack of Newports and knocks one out and lights it and says, "All right, everything's in place. You ready?"
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm 14 years old. I don't have a lot of combat experience.
You're a man now, son. Act like it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so Chris, why don't you tell me your what the plan you 2 hatched to pull this mutant out of
He's currently in a jail.
He is in a jail, but if it would help things move along, maybe he's going to be transferred to something. Maybe maybe the authorities are worried about lynch mobs too. But
No,
you guys,
jail's
okay.
fine. I just wanted to know the setup.
Yeah, not like a prison or anything. He's like in the town jail. Yeah.
Okay. So, what'll happen is he'll drop me off, at the transformer, down the street a bit,
Okay.
and Colin will effectively suck the power dry from the town because I really can't control it that well at this point. I'm only 14, and I'll probably black out the whole town by accident, probably.
Fair enough.
And while that's happening, the other guy's basically going to go in, and while the police come out to fire, because there's going to be a small explosion when I do this. When the police come out, he'll go in and just unlock the door, and they'll just walk right out.
Sounds good to me, man. Okay. Now are y'all doing this in broad daylight, or are you doing this kind of at dusk, or what?
I would assume this would be at dusk, evening. If it's a small town, there can't be that. Like, only 1 or 2 guys can be in there.
Okay, sounds good. So he drops you off nearby, and he says, "Okay, now you know the plan,
Yep. Yes, sir.
and you remember where we're meeting after this, right?"
Yes, sir. Where are we meeting? Down the car?
Was that?
By the car?
I don't know. That depends. Are you guys meeting by the car? Are you like the getaway driver, or is he taking the car and he's driving away, and you're just walking
Okay,
to
then
him?
we'll meet at like the railroad station outside of town.
Okay,
That way,
sounds good.
at the edge of town. That way, if anything goes wrong, we have two methods out: the car or the railroad.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Okay. And he's like, and if the cops come after you, what do you do?
I hide. I run.
I was gonna say knock their teeth in, but that works too.
If he was older, but he's a skinny 14-year-old who's afraid of his own power.
Fair enough. All right. Be a good soldier, kid. And he, like, cuffs you on the shoulder affectionately as you start to roll down the window to hop out.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to, I guess it'd be forceful. I want you to roll me a forceful, at the appropriate time to absorb all.
Sure. I would say that works.
I'd say that's pretty darn successful, especially since I forgot to set the DC for it. So yeah, you said that. Yeah. So you were just trying to do this block or so.
Well, if it's a small town, I'm probably just trying to. My goal would have probably been just a small area around this block, but given the power, it's a small town. I'm likely to block out the whole town.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, are you trying to do the town though? 'Cause since you rolled so well, if you just want to say, I'm just gonna do the area around here, I'm fine.
I would probably say just the area around here because I don't want to hurt anybody.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you do your thing, and then you just mosey on over to the railroad.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, you start walking that way. I'm imagining it like the ending of the how like every episode of the '80s whole TV show ends, where you're just sort of walking off, and there's like whistling in the background. And as you start to do that, you start going, and pretty soon you start to hear gunfire coming from the direction of the police department. Are you
Well,
going
now-
to investigate, or are you going to stick to the plan?
No, we can definitely investigate.
Okay. Okay. By the way, are you storing all this energy, or are you?
Yes.
Did you discharge it when you?
I would probably store it,
Okay.
or at least some of it anyway, just in case something goes wrong.
Okay, sounds good. So while you're storing this energy, I'm going to say that you can't absorb any other type of energy. Okay?
Yeah, I'm still learning. Totally fair.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so don't get shot is what I'm getting at. All right. All right, so you're heading towards the. Are you coming back the way you came, or are you like doubling back around, or what are you doing?
14 gunshots. He's in danger. I'm probably running towards, so I get there quickly rather than, so I know what's going on, rather.
Sounds good. Yeah, yeah, you keep hearing repeated gunshots, and you arrive there, and out in front of the place, you can in front of the sheriff's office, you can see like 3 or 4 deputies, looks like, and they're all laying on the ground, possibly dead or unconscious. You see a couple of them, they're like, they're hiding behind a cop car out front, and they've got their guns pointed to the inside of the building, and one of them's talking fast on their radio, just being like, we're requesting backup, we're under attack, that sort of stuff. I don't really know who he's talking to since the power's out in there, but I guess other cop cars around in town will probably radios be working.
Can I see, sir and the guy he's supposed to break out at all?
No, Mr. John and the other guy are probably still inside. They could be trying to go out a back way or through the window, or I don't know. They might just walk down the front steps like a boss. I don't know, man.
Then I'm gonna run around the back.
Okay. So yeah, you roll me a sneaky to see if the either one of the sheriff's guys notice you. I'm gonna give you a +1 bonus on this since they're pretty intent on focusing on the guy who's been clobbering them.
2.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Yeah. Okay, so like you, I imagine maybe you do like a little thing where you stick your finger to the fence, in front of you, the chain link fence.
Nah, I would just
And you like
jump
do a little, like release, start to slowly release energy through it, and you like blow
No.
towards a.
I want to jump the fence because I want to save the power to blow a hole in the back of the building if I have to.
Okay, well, I'm imagining this is like 8 or 9 foot chain link
Oh,
fence with
I
barbed
thought you
wire
were
on
like-
top. On top of
Oh, I thought you were like regular 6-foot fence or something. No, that
Oh
makes
no,
sense.
yeah, I'm thinking of like the sheriff's office in my hometown, so that's kind of how I'm picturing it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm just imagining you like melting a little hole in there and then walking through that. Would that be a safe guess, or do you want to like I don't know?
Fence. We'll
Okay,
fry a hole.
sounds good, man. I'm not gonna require you to roll for that. And yeah, so you do that. You run over to the back, and at first you don't see anything, but then suddenly like this body just goes crashing through the window. It's a cop, and you can see a big old bruise on the side of his head. And climbing out through the window is Mr. John. His a bloody baseball bat in one hand and a body of what you presume to be the mutant you just rescued in the other. What are you doing here, kid?
I'm back up. I have a hole in the fence over here, but we should go that way instead.
You get the feeling that if both his hands weren't filled, he'd be like rubbing his forehead. Jeez. All right, kid, come on, let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, so he, you guys start going, and you've known him long enough to know that if he wanted to, he could scale a fence no problem. But he isn't going to complain if you want to melt another hole.
Will do.
Cool. So yeah, you guys get back to the car. Throw the mutant in the back seat, and start taking down the road. And he says, "Hey, you get in the back with the kid was going into hysterics, and I had to knock him out. Make sure they're okay.
Okay.
Okay. So he gets in there and floors it. So why don't you roll me? Do you have you said you have healing, right?
I have basic first aid skills.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. So why don't you roll that for me to see if you can help this kid, and then after.
Oh, clever.
That's a good question. That either one of those will work.
Then go be careful, because that's my defining concept here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Ooh.
Okay, I was gonna say there's gonna be a -2 penalty, but
Then I think I'll burn a fate to re-roll that.
Okay. This is just this isn't gonna kill the kid. Before you do that, I just want to clarify